The crowd laughed when they first heard her words. "Beat me in tennis and I'll marry you," said the tall, sharp-eyed CEO, her voice dripping with mockery as she looked at the janitor sweeping the edges of the company's private tennis court. The single dad froze. His broom stilled in his calloused hands. Everyone, employees, guests, even the security guards, turned to him with sneers. To them, it was a joke. To her, it was a statement of power. And to him, it was something else entirely. But no one knew his secret. It had started as an ordinary Friday at Halston Enterprises, one of the largest corporations in the city. Every year, the company hosted a grand charity event where the CEO, Clarissa Halston, would play an exhibition tennis match against high-profile guests, athletes, celebrities, even politicians. It wasn't just about the game. It was about power, prestige, and showing the world that Clarissa could dominate not only in business but also on the court. The tennis court was her stage, and the crowd was her kingdom. Among the bustling staff preparing for the event was Daniel Carter, the janitor. A man in his mid-30s with strong shoulders, tired eyes, and hands roughened by years of labor. He was known for keeping to himself, rarely speaking unless necessary. People whispered about him sometimes, about how he was a single father raising a little girl, about how his wife had died years ago, leaving him with nothing but debts and responsibilities. Daniel didn't complain. He worked nights cleaning offices, mornings sweeping floors, and spent the little free time he had caring for his daughter, Lily, who was his world. That day, as he pushed his broom along the tennis court's edge, he couldn't help but pause for a moment. He looked at the net, the rackets, the perfect green surface of the court. Memories flickered, memories he had locked away for years. He used to live on courts like these. Before life had stripped him of everything, Daniel had been on the verge of greatness. A rising tennis star with a swing so precise and powerful that people once called him the next Federer. He had scholarships, sponsors, and a future brighter than the sun. But one cruel twist of fate, a car accident that killed his parents and injured his shoulder, shattered everything. His career ended overnight. He dropped out of tournaments, abandoned his dreams, and eventually, when his wife later passed away from illness, he accepted the only job he could find, cleaning floors. Nobody at Halston Enterprises knew this. Not Clarissa. Not the employees. Not the crowd laughing now. And certainly not Lily, who sat quietly in the stands, clutching a small, worn-out teddy bear as she watched her father sweep. Clarissa tossed her racket in the air, catching it with a flourish. She had a cruel smile as she addressed Daniel. "You there, janitor?" Heads turned. Conversations halted. Daniel slowly looked up. "Yes, ma'am." His voice was calm, steady, though inside his chest, his heart pounded. Clarissa tilted her head, her ponytail swinging like a whip. "You've been staring at the court like you know what it means to be here. Do you even know the rules of tennis? Or is sweeping floors your only skill?" The crowd erupted in laughter. Someone clapped mockingly. Daniel felt the burn of humiliation crawl up his neck. But then, from the stands, Lily's small voice rang out, clear and innocent. "My daddy's not just a janitor. He's the best tennis player in the world." The laughter cut off sharply, replaced by gasps and awkward chuckles. Clarissa raised her brows. "Oh? Is that so?" She glanced at Lily, then back at Daniel. "Well then, Daddy, how about this? Beat me in a match, right here, right now. If you win, I'll..." She paused dramatically, letting the silence build. "I'll marry you." The words hit the air like lightning. The crowd froze. Some gasped, others laughed nervously. A janitor challenging a CEO? It was ridiculous. Unthinkable. Clarissa smirked, confident that he would refuse, that he'd shrink back into silence. But Daniel didn't. He looked at his daughter, at the way her eyes shone with unshakable belief in him, and then back at the CEO. "I accept," he said quietly. The crowd erupted again, this time in disbelief. They handed him a racket. It was heavy, unfamiliar, but as his fingers wrapped around the grip, an old fire stirred in his chest. He rolled his shoulder once, testing it. The ache was still there, a reminder of the past, but so was the strength. Clarissa strutted onto the court, waving at the cameras, her confidence radiating like the sun. She had been training with private coaches for years. To her, this was just another show. A chance to embarrass a man beneath her. But when the first serve came, the air shifted. Clarissa's ball was fast, precise, aimed at the corner. But Daniel's body moved before his mind caught up. His feet glided across the court with muscle memory honed by years of discipline. The racket met the ball with a sharp crack, sending it back faster, deeper, cleaner than anyone expected. The crowd gasped. Clarissa's smile faltered. The rally began. Ball after ball, swing after swing. The CEO fought hard, but Daniel was something else entirely. Even after years away, his strokes were poetry, forehands like fire, backhands like steel, his movements flowing with the rhythm of a man born for this game. Every time he scored a point, Lily clapped wildly, shouting, "That's my daddy." The crowd's laughter slowly turned to silence. Then whispers. Then awe. Who was this man? By the second set, sweat dripped from Clarissa's forehead. She gritted her teeth, her pride fueling her swings. But Daniel, calm, composed, relentless, kept pushing, kept striking, each shot fueled not just by skill but by love. For his daughter. For the dream he once lost. And when match point arrived, the court was so silent you could hear the ball bounce. Clarissa served with everything she had left. The ball rocketed forward. Daniel's body moved. The racket cut the air. The ball slammed into the corner of Clarissa's side, untouchable. Game. Set. Match. The crowd erupted in thunderous applause. Clarissa dropped her racket, her face pale, her pride shattered. Daniel stood tall, chest heaving, eyes scanning the stands until he found Lily. She was crying, not from sadness, but from joy. "You did it, Daddy," she screamed, hugging her teddy bear so tight it looked like it might burst. Clarissa approached him, trying to mask her embarrassment with a tight smile. "Well," she said, her voice strained, "a deal's a deal. Looks like I'm marrying the janitor." The crowd laughed nervously again, waiting for Daniel's reaction. But he only shook his head. "I don't want your hand out of pity or pride," he said firmly. "I don't need wealth or power. I just wanted to show my daughter that no matter where life puts you, no matter how far you fall, you never lose who you are inside." The silence that followed was heavy, powerful. He turned to Lily, who ran into his arms. He lifted her high, pressing his face into her hair, whispering, "This win is for you." The crowd, moved, humbled, rose to their feet, clapping not for the CEO, not for the company, but for the janitor who reminded them all of the strength of love, dignity, and resilience. Even Clarissa, swallowing her pride, gave a small, genuine nod of respect. In the days that followed, whispers spread through the city. The story of the janitor who defeated the CEO became a legend. Job offers poured in, sponsorships, even old coaches who once abandoned him returned. But Daniel didn't rush to take them. His focus remained where it had always been, on his daughter. Because for him, the victory wasn't the match, wasn't the applause, wasn't the sudden recognition. It was the moment his little girl looked at him not just as her father, but as her hero. And that was a title he would never give up. The truth is, life will mock you, push you down, laugh at your scars. People will underestimate you because of the uniform you wear, the job you hold, the silence you keep. But when you carry love in your heart, when you remember who you are and what you once dreamed of, there is no stage too high, no opponent too strong, no past too bright.